Volunteers for Peace Vietnam, or VPV, is a non-profit and non-governmental organization that was founded in 2005, providing help and education to people across Vietnam. VPV also seeks to connect international and local volunteers, thus fostering cultural and educational exchange, friendship, and peace. For more than 10 years now, the organization has welcomed thousands of volunteers from over 30 different countries. During this time, VPV has also built up a strong network of local and international partners. In recent years, VPV has been cooperating with British Council in Vietnam to organize the Global Volunteering Day in Hanoi. The annual event is aimed to help young people better understand their responsibilities in social issues and international volunteering, as well as to fill in the gap among different cultures or religions. Hello and welcome to Sharing Vietnam. In today's program, we'll have a conversation with Mr. Danny Whitehead, Deputy Director of British Council in Vietnam. He will share with us some insights into volunteering and international exchange activities of young people here in Vietnam. Hello Danny, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks, it's a delight to be joining you on the program today.
First of all, from the perspective of British Council, what are the benefits of volunteering activities for young people?
I think volunteering is a really powerful way for young people to get involved with their communities. I think all too often these days, young people have so many distractions. They have their phone, they have social media, they have all these demands on their time. And sometimes it's easy for them to forget that when they're in a virtual world, they're actually also part of the real world. Volunteering is a really powerful way for them to reconnect with what's around them, and also a way for them to give something back. I think it's a very powerful way of showing the people in your community that you care about them and that you are passionate about not just yourself and your own family, but everybody in your community, in your city, and in your country.
Could you give us some information on the collaboration activities between British Council and the Volunteers for Peace Vietnam so far?
We've been working with VPV on Global Volunteering Day for 3 years now, and we've been working with them to both celebrate the incredible work that volunteers, Vietnamese volunteers and foreign volunteers are doing in Vietnam, to inspire new people to get involved with volunteering, and also to make people much more aware of the challenges that people face through the Sustainable Development Goals. And that's really important. It's inspiring people to engage with their communities, but with a global outlook. We can't say anymore that the problems in another country or the problems in another region are somebody else's problems. They're not. The world is so connected now that those problems are our problems as well. And so through working with VPV, through bringing together our knowledge and expertise and also UK's experience in volunteering with VPV's expertise in inspiring and motivating volunteers in Vietnam. When we bring that together to celebrate Global Volunteering Day, we hopefully have a positive effect on encouraging more people to get involved.
How do British Council and VPV work together to organize the Global Volunteering Day in Hanoi, and what do you think of its significance?
We work with VPV right from the start of the planning of Global Volunteering Day. As I say, we both want to celebrate what volunteering is already happening in Vietnam and also inspire more people to get involved. This year, the theme of the Global Volunteering Day was around the Sustainable Development Goals. And it's really important that people in the UK, people in Vietnam, are aware of the Sustainable Development Goals. The UK's Prime Minister, David Cameron, was one of 3 people who were invited by the United Nations to start the process of drafting the goals that follow on from the Millennium Development Goals. And I think it's important that young people are aware of this, they're aware of the challenges that face people all around the world, in Vietnam and in other countries, and in the UK. They're not just aware of the problems, but then they start thinking about the solutions and what role they can play.
The 2017 Global Volunteering Day took place in Hanoi on May the 6th. The event brought together volunteers from more than 30 countries and over 1,000 young Vietnamese people. Many of the young local people are members of the Volunteers for Peace Vietnam Club under VPV. This year's event was focused on actions for sustainable development goals. The 17 goals were officially adopted by the United Nations in 2015, covering many areas such as high-quality education, gender equality, sustainable economic growth and employment, inequality reduction, and environmental protection. In addition to global issues, GVD 2017 also featured colorful cultures through traditional festivals of different countries.
Thì trong năm vừa qua bọn mình đã xây được 3 điểm trường và trong năm 2017 và 2018 sắp tới thì bọn mình sẽ dự định là mỗi năm sẽ xây khoảng độ 4 đến 5 điểm trường nữa. Thì đấy là một trong những cái số mà cái chương trình của bên mình. Ngoài ra thì bên mình còn có những cái chương trình hoạt động với cả các bạn tình nguyện viên nước ngoài. Thì trong năm vừa qua thì bọn mình có hướng dẫn như là city tour hay là giúp các bạn tình nguyện viên nước ngoài có thể là học tiếng Việt và tham gia các hoạt động xã hội ở Việt Nam. Thì trong năm vừa qua thì bọn mình giúp đỡ được khoảng độ tầm 2 đến 300 bạn tình nguyện viên nước ngoài. Đó. Thêm nữa là mỗi năm thì bên mình có gửi khoảng độ 5 đến 6 bạn tình nguyện viên từ câu lạc bộ sang nước ngoài để tham gia các hoạt động tình nguyện.
Mỗi nước, mỗi quốc gia thì có những cái cách tình nguyện khác nhau. Ở Việt Nam thì các bạn theo tình nguyện theo kiểu phong trào, theo đoàn thể của các trường, các hội. Còn ở nước ngoài thì họ thường tham gia tình nguyện với tư cách cá nhân. Tức là các bạn ý tham gia thấy cái nơi này hoặc là địa phương này cần sự giúp đỡ, họ tự đến, họ tự liên hệ và họ tự làm việc với địa phương để xem là mình có thể giúp được gì. Ví dụ giúp về chân tay, về nguồn nhân lực, hay là giúp về tiền tài, hay là giúp về trí óc, ví dụ như là chất xám để làm việc cùng với người dân, giúp người dân phát triển.
It was very interesting for me. I was teaching English and I didn't teach English before. So the first month was very strange, but after a while I got more used to it, and after maybe 2 or 3 months I was even teaching some other volunteers how to teach English, so it was very nice.
In your opinion, what is the new feature of the 2017 Global Volunteering Day in Hanoi in comparison with previous events?
Well, I think the social enterprise, in fact, was very different from previous events. Social enterprise is an incredibly powerful way of working. It's encouraging not just young people, but anybody in Vietnam around the world to set up businesses which are socially active, which work to generate a profit. They have to be sustainable financially, but at the same time, they're also socially focused. They're private enterprises aimed at making a profit, but which also positively benefit society and the community. In the UK, we've had a long history of building up social enterprise, thousands of social enterprises across the country. In a recent survey, over 50% of young people in the UK said that when they finish university or when they finish school, they want to work in an organisation which is socially responsible and which is committed to social good. There are some incredible social enterprises in Vietnam, many working with disadvantaged groups, some in areas of where there are many ethnic minorities, or working with people with disabilities, working with people with LGBTIQ issues, and it was wonderful to see those social enterprises at Global Volunteering Day demonstrating to the young people that social enterprise is a great potential career.
Apart from VPV and the Global Volunteering Day, what are some other programs of British Council in Vietnam to promote social engagement among young people?
The Active Citizens Programme, we've been doing youth leadership training with a number of different, in many places around Vietnam. We've been working with people in different provinces to promote ideas around social entrepreneurship, as we've already talked about. And this is something that we're going to be focusing on ever more in the coming years. We're really keen to support the work, the great work that that the government and the different departments in provinces in Vietnam are doing. And if the UK can support it by using some of our own experience and expertise, we'd be delighted to work together with our Vietnamese partners to do that. Through Active Citizens Programme, we've been able to bring together volunteers from different countries to share expertise, to share solutions to challenges, because the challenges that we face in the UK are similar to the challenges that people face in Vietnam, and they're similar to the challenges that people face in other countries around the world. If we can bring the British Council, if we can create a platform to bring people together, that's a really powerful way of building trust, of encouraging young people to be global citizens, and hopefully through that we'll inspire people, young people, to be not just the leaders of tomorrow, but to be the people who solve the problems that we're having today around the world. And that is the best way that we're going to meet the Sustainable Development Goals.
And finally, could you share with us some experience of Britain in promoting social engagement among young people?
I think the first thing is that we have to recognize that young people have their own interests, and young people are very committed to global change and global improvement. And we have to work with that. We can use that as a powerful force. We should try, where possible, to encourage our young people when they do that, and to give them the freedom to explore how they themselves might come up with their own solutions. It's a case of not telling them how to do things, but encouraging them in finding their own solutions, in thinking critically about problem solving, about being leaders. It's about training young people to believe that they can be leaders and that they are leaders. And so they shouldn't just look to other people for answers. They need to be able to work within themselves to find the answers to their problems. Through social enterprise, the UK has learned through many years that you need the right conditions to promote social enterprise. You need the right legislative framework, and as I say, it's fantastic that Vietnam now has the legislative framework to support social enterprise. You also need the social framework behind it. You need people educated in what social enterprise is, and you need young people who are actively knowledgeable about it and who will then move into social enterprise.
Well, Danny, thank you very much for joining us today and sharing some very interesting insights.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Well, that's all for our program today. Thank you very much for watching, and see you again next time.